Hi everyone, welcome if this is your first time here, and welcome back if you've been here before. In this video, I'll be continuing to talk about my previous competition experience, focusing on the Canadian national competitions that I've been a part of. Specifically in this video, the Canadian Nationals 2024. In my previous video, I went over my first ever competition, which was Canadian Nationals 2023. Definitely check that out. It does provide some context for this video, as it is a continuation of my puzzling journey. But yeah, over the next little bit, I'll be focusing specifically on the puzzles I completed at the 2024 Canadian Nationals. Unlike in 2023, I was determined to practice a lot more and prepare a lot more for this competition. However, I did not. I did do 16 new practice puzzles in the month leading up to it. 2023, I think I did 11. However, of these new puzzles, only one of them was a Ravensburger, which I can't stress enough how important it is to practice the puzzle brand that you'll be competing with, because every puzzle brand is slightly different, and it definitely helps you prepare properly. I think I did 3 or 4 other Ravensburgers that I'd already done previously, but it's not great in terms of training. So that was definitely mistake number 1. My goal for the 2024 competition was to improve on my placing. So in 2023, I finished in 19th. So finishing above 19th would have been ideal. I also felt pretty confident that I would at least make the finals. I didn't do much preparation for the 2023 competition, and I had the broken thumb. So I figured this will be so much simpler to make the finals. I should do better, but who knows? But I was feeling quite confident, and that was definitely mistake number 2 heading into the 2024 Nationals. So my goal, as I said, my goal was to do better than 19th place, which means I had to make the finals. Again, feeling pretty confident that I would do that, but they did change the qualification system in 2024. So in 2023, it was 1 qualification round, top 20 moved on. In 2024, it was 2 qualification rounds. You were in one or the other, and I think that it was the top 23 people from each round moved on to the final. So that's 46 total people. That's more than double what 2023 was. So again, this is going to be so much easier. Confidence still going up. It's going to be fine. I'm going to walk right through to the finals. Super confident. Again, mistake number 3. So I was placed into the first round of qualifying with 83 total participants. Again, still feeling like this isn't going to be too difficult. I decided to look up and see who the other participants were. Mistake number 4. I only looked at the top 20 finishers from the previous year, the people that made the finals, and of those 20 finishers, 15 returned for Canadian Nationals 2024. Of those 15, 12 of those people, including myself, were all put into round 1. So suddenly the first round of qualifying looked like it was going to be a lot more challenging to qualify. There's a lot of new people in the other rounds, so you never know who's going to step up, what the newcomers will be like, but just at the first glance, it did make our round look potentially more challenging. So the nerves are starting to kick in a little bit. However, of those 11 other people, I only beat one of them in the previous year, and not by very much. But I figured, okay, if those 10 people beat me again in the qualifying round, that still leaves room for another 10 people to beat me, and I'll still make the finals. Because again, top 23 people move on, so that's okay. I didn't want to finish in 21st, 22nd, 23rd, but if I did, at least I move on to the finals. So we should be fine. So since I'm in round 1, it's another early morning drive to Georgetown, Ontario, Canada, where nationals are being held for the 2nd year in a row. The doors open, it's choose your own seat, which was similar to the last competition, and I just happened to be able to get the exact same table I competed at twice in the Nationals 2023. I like the consistency. It is calming. I know what the light situation is going to be. I know I'm not at the edges where people can easily see me. I'm kind of more in the middle of the room, much more inconspicuous. I can just focus on myself, and so I'm super happy that I was able to at least get started that way. So again, confidence coming back up. I'm relaxed, almost ready to start the competition. The person sharing the table with me, her name was Carly. She finished 8th at 2023 Nationals, so fast she beat me then. I figured she was going to beat me again this time, which was fine with me. But I was going to use her time and her pacing to kind of judge to see how fast I was going on my side of the table. So if I could finish close to her, there was a much better chance I would qualify for the finals. So using the people around you to kind of help set a bar or set your pace, I thought would be useful. It's also worth mentioning that at this competition, I did not have a broken thumb this time. So I know it slowed me down in 2023, so figuring that's not going to be a factor, I should naturally just be faster at this and do better. So again, feeling pretty good with this. So thinking this, again, it's going to be nice and easy. Mistake number 5. The countdown begins. They say puzzle, and we open the bags, and it is this puzzle here, 2 of a kind. That is the puzzle that's revealed to everyone for qualifying in round 1. As always, I'd encourage you to pause the video, and if you are a speed puzzler or trying to become a speed puzzler, have a quick look at the image and try to decide as quickly as possible what you would work on first when you saw this type of image. I went into this competition with a set game plan. After flipping all the pieces over, complete the border first, and then work on small sections of the puzzle. Easy, simple, just like I practiced. I did none of that. Everything that I was planning on doing, I did as far into the opposite really as possible. There was no organization. It was absolute chaos. If the previous video from 2023, that's kind of what I did in the finals, where I just wasn't organized. And I thought I had learned that from that mistake. I guess I didn't. My mind just went blank, and it was I had no plan for what I was doing. And it's a fairly busy image. There's a lot going on with it. You have to be organized, and I just wasn't. Mistake number 6. For some reason, I tried to do everything all at once, which is how you do not do a puzzle, especially speed puzzling. I had no organization system set up. It was just doing random pieces in random spots, just kind of seeing what fits together. And eventually I just took a deep breath, said, okay, just focus on one thing, and I chose the red car. It stood out, it's quite predominant, somewhat in the middle of the image, and I'll build from that. But the red car, there's also a little bit of the red boat behind. It did not go as quickly as I would have liked. Much slower, and again, still no border is done. There's just pieces everywhere. So it's been more than a year since this competition, and because I wasn't filming, I don't film the preliminary rounds, and I honestly don't remember the exact order I did all the puzzle in. I am fairly confident that I did try to work on the green car next. It didn't go quite too well because there's so much other green happening in the image. I think I then moved up to the roof of the building that was in there, followed by doing actually some of the border. The sky would have shown up at one point in there. The pathway at the bottom and the grass down there, and the boat would have shown up at one point on the roof of the boat, and I think the bridge came a bit later as well. But it's what I should have started at from the beginning, just doing small sections at a time. But again, everything was so scattered. I'm pretty sure that's what the order was, but it wasn't ideal. I was definitely falling behind, and I knew I was falling behind. The first person to finish at 44 minutes and 18 seconds was Devin Donaldson. who was the winner of the 2023 Nationals. Was anybody surprised? Absolutely not. It was as expected, really. And second place was Katie, a newcomer and to Nationals, and someone who will definitely feature in my upcoming 2025 Nationals videos. And third place soon after that was Sophie, who finished second at Canadian Nationals the year before. So these are all expected people that were going to do well. It didn't bother me. I wasn't expecting to finish that high. I was more focused on just making the finals, and as long as I keep doing what I need to do, I should make it. Again, if I finish in 10th, 12th, 13th, whatever, I'll make it through the finals, no problem. So I'm still feeling fine, but the realization that I am going slower because I have not formed a plan with this puzzle is certainly not going to help finish in these higher spots in a safe spot to make the finals. When the person beside me, Carly, finished in 5th place around 51 minutes and a little bit of nervousness started to sink in. I still had a fair bit to go. I know I have the puzzle image in the bottom corner beside me. That's not how much progress I probably had at this moment. I definitely still had all the trees to go. There would have been some of the building and flowers left. I don't know if the green car was done yet either, but there is still a fair bit to go. Yes, only 5 people had finished, but this is when, if it's the same as last year, people are going to start finishing fairly quickly after this moment. Once the first few people are done, places 5 through 10 to 15 will finish within a very short period of time. So I need to start going faster. By the time we get to 56 minutes, the first 11 people have finished. I am not one of them. By the time we get to the 1 hour mark, 20 people have finished, and I am still not one of them. And this is where panic definitely starts to sink in. There is no way of knowing how far other people have finished their puzzles. There's 72 other people in the room still that are puzzling, and any one of them or any 3 of them could finish quickly. Only 23 people make it through. There's 3 spots remaining, and I am definitely nervous at this point. At the 1 hour and 42 second mark, the 21st place person finishes, and that is me, thankfully. Barely getting into the finals. I also realized that if this was the 2023 Nationals and only 20 people made it through, I would not have qualified for the finals. The mistakes definitely caught up with me. The confidence I felt, the overconfidence that I felt going into the competition was gone, and has definitely impacted how I feel about any competition now that I enter going forward. It certainly impacted my thoughts going into 2025, but this also made me very nervous for the finals that afternoon. I had to take some time. There's a lot of hours in between the qualifying rounds and the finals, so I'm just going to take some time, reset, and hopefully go in with a much better mindset in the afternoon. Similar to 2023, there was quite a few hours in between the qualifying round and the finals. Before I left to go and reset, I did stay to see the start of the second qualifying round to see what their puzzle might have been. I assumed it was going to be something similar to Two of a Kind and an outdoorsy nature type scene, just so it would be easy to compare the two groups. However, the puzzle that they received was Paris, Postcard from Paris, which people were excited about. There seemed to be some little bit of celebration when people saw it. It is a puzzle that I know people tried previously. It wasn't a brand new puzzle, so people were able to practice it. It's part of a series, so people might own the London version as well as the New York version. But what I was surprised to see afterwards was only 12 people had a faster qualifying time than I did in my round, which doesn't make a difference because it's 23 people from each round regardless of the times. But I was surprised, because in my opinion, this is a much easier puzzle than Two of a Kind is. That's very subjective. I've also heard people say that Two of a Kind is an easier puzzle than Postcard from Paris. So it's very, very subjective. I took the time between the rounds to reset my mind. I spent some time at the gym for a few hours and got rid of the stress from round one. Went to Puzzles Canada, Canada's largest puzzle store, and bought some puzzles, which also that's very calming. And then I went for about a 2-hour walk around the trails that are close to the Nationals venue. Again, just a way to reset my mind, and then also remind myself to stick with the plan I came into Nationals with. Don't get all chaotic. Don't try to do everything at once when you get to the finals. Just stay nice and simple and organized whatever that final puzzle might be. The plan I decided on was, first, after flipping pieces, or while flipping pieces, no matter what, pull out the edges. I didn't in the morning, and it definitely hurts time later on. Definitely pull all the edge pieces out first. I would then look at regardless of the puzzle image, I would then look at the image as well and quickly decide, is there a section of the puzzle I can also pull out to be my first project, whatever that might be. So you're kind of doing two sorts right off the start. I had practiced this beforehand, so it's not something I just randomly had come up with, so I knew I would be able to do it. I decided that whatever the puzzle was, if the puzzle looked tricky or something that I wasn't going to quite enjoy, Two of a Kind is not my favorite type of puzzle, then I'll do the border first. At least it's something organized that I can work around. However, if it's a very random puzzle with random objects or random patterns, the border might not be the best place to start, and I'll work on that first small project instead. Regardless, the edge pieces will be off to the side, so at least it takes it out of the main puzzle pile. It's also worth mentioning that I'm able to do multiple sorts in the finals. You can't really do it as easily in the qualification rounds because in the finals I have a full table to work at. And if you don't have the full table, doing a lot of different sorts is a bit more challenging because you don't have enough space. But because I knew I had the large table, I will use it to my advantage. In 2023, I definitely did not use the table at all to my advantage. So this time I would use as much space as I could without getting too stretched apart, but definitely use the space to my advantage. The finals are about to start. I have my game plan. I'm determined to stick with it. Yes, I managed to get this same table for the 4th round in a row. So one less thing to worry about there. The person at the table beside me is Megan Sloka. I found out, I quickly looked up the results to see where she finished in the morning. She actually won her qualification round, so I knew that she was going to be quite quick. She won the 2nd qualification round, so I knew she'd be quite fast. Again, similar to the morning with Carly sitting beside me, I could use Megan as kind of a measuring stick to see how quickly I'm going. Again, my goal is not to win the competition. I know that isn't a realistic possibility with all the super fast puzzlers out there. Megan, for instance, Devin, Katie, Sophie, all amazingly fast puzzlers. So again, not my goal. My main goal, as it was going into the competition, was to finish in better than 19th place, my 2023 result. Going off the morning, I wasn't feeling as confident it was going to happen, but I figured if I just stick with my plan, who knows? I could surprise myself, but again, who knows what's gonna happen. The countdown begins. We open up the bags, and the puzzle that is revealed is Hello Vinyl, this one right here. And I am thrilled with this puzzle. This is my ideal puzzle. There is no significant flowers or plants in this image. There's no animals or fur at all, thank goodness. Just a bunch of random objects that are all big enough to be their own small projects to work on. And each object is so different from the other objects, there's no overlap when you are sorting these into sections. There's not the same type of green that's used in different types of places. They're not the same color blue that's used in different places, or yellow, whatever. Everything's its own clearly different shade, and this seems like it's going to be quite simple. So again, take your time, pause the video if you want to, and decide what it is that you would choose to do first. As I'm flipping the pieces, I remind myself, stick with the plan. I just kept saying that to myself over and over again. You have a plan, stick with the plan. So I am pulling the edges out first, and I also made the decision that as part of my plan to pick one thing to work at that I could also pull out while flipping. And the blue disc is very hard to ignore. So I pull all the blue pieces out. They are so much brighter than the rest of the puzzle that it's super easy to pull those. If I look at the size of the border as well as the blue disc, that takes up about 20% of the puzzle. So maybe a bit more. So if I can get all that done quite quickly, there's not going to be a lot left to sort through, and the rest of the puzzle should go through fairly quickly as well. So that's the first thing that I decide to do. I did start by trying to put the edges together first, but reminded myself that for random images like this, as part of my plan, putting the edge together might not be of a huge benefit at the start. But getting that blue disc out of the way, a good chunk of pieces are there, so I quickly move over to that and finish. So by the time I get to, I think it was about the 15-minute mark, the blue disc is done, some of the edges are done, but I'm ready to move on to the other smaller objects and work my way through on very quick small projects. I then moved on to the neon yellow lights and the vinyl covers in the top left corner. Worked my way through those at a pretty good pace. That's all done by, I think, about the 20-minute mark. By the 30-minute mark, I had the notebook cover done. This is the only section with flowers on it. It did take a little bit longer than I would have liked, but also during this time I was able to get some other smaller sections done, like the headphones and anything that had words on it as well. Up until the 40-minute mark, I was mainly doing sections of the puzzle that were unique and just stood out to me, and I thought I was doing pretty well, making my way through this image at a good pace. Up until the 41-minute mark, 41:08 exactly, and that is when Megan, sitting beside me, finishes in first place overall with such an incredible time. So Canada has a new national champion. Well done to her. Do your small little clap, and then I'm focused back on the puzzle. Soon after, in second place, Katie finishes. Third place, I believe, was Tracy. Finishes. So people are trying to finish this puzzle quite quickly, and just like all the other rounds, there's no way to know how fast this is going to move. Usually first, second, third place finish a little bit earlier than everyone else, but there's some other big names that haven't finished yet, like Devin and Sophie, so there could be a lot of people finishing quite soon. There's no way to know. I just need to stay focused, stick with my plan, don't get flustered like I did in previous rounds. It wasn't actually until the 40th minute where the final border came together. It didn't bother me because doing the small sections, a lot of it was being built anyways. So that was fine. As long as I'm still making my progress, I should be able to, hopefully, beat my 19th place finish from last year. But again, who knows how long the last little bits will take, because whatever I've saved for last in my mind must be the most challenging aspects, and who knows how long those can take. At the 45-minute mark, I know I don't have too much left to go, just a couple small little sections to fill in. I do the two glasses, which that was one of the only sections that had a bit of overlap, so get those out of the way. And then I work on the top right corner, where on the box it looks very clear, but the version of the puzzle I had, it would just look a lot more like a big black section because of the lighting around me, and the bottom left corner also had a bit of dark sections in here, so that took a little bit longer as well. But I do finish at 50 minutes and 13 seconds, and somehow in 10th place. Thrilled. Absolutely so happy with that finish, finishing in the top 10. The big jump up from 19th to 10th place, and a nice personal recovery from me after the disaster of the morning. It didn't bring back a lot of confidence overall, but it did make me feel better that if I do have plans and stick with them, my results should hopefully be a bit better. A lot had to go right for that 10th place finish. If it's a different puzzle, who knows what the result was. This, as I said, this is my ideal type of puzzle. The random objects within a puzzle, it's just much easier for my brain to kind of sort through that. It's also clear what each section is when you have puzzles that are heavily plants or fur. You're never super confident where a piece might fit on a cat or in a pink tree, cherry blossom tree. With the objects, it was so much easier. So 10th place, feeling very, very good. And technically, one of the participants was from Australia, so really top 9 of the Canadians, and yeah, it matters. But yes, top 10, feeling very, very good about that. Some key takeaways from my 2024 Nationals include: have a plan and stick to it. I tried to learn from my 2023 finals debacle. I didn't, and it almost cost me significantly at this competition. Doing the border first makes sense, unless it doesn't. In the morning puzzle, the qualification puzzle, doing the border first definitely would have made sense at that time, and building from that. It definitely would have helped. However, in the afternoon, the border, for me, didn't make sense to work with, because there was objects and images within the puzzle that I could focus on a lot clearer than trying to have to work around the border. So with practice, and you start to learn which puzzles it's necessary to do the border first, but it is always necessary to pull the edges out while you're flipping. In a 500 piece puzzle, there's 86 edge pieces. That's almost 20% of the puzzle that is out of the way and you don't need to worry about. So always, my advice would be to take out the edge pieces right from the start, and then decide on the path going forward. And number 3, using the people around you to kind of gauge time. It can be helpful, but it's not a great measuring stick. There's no way I could have predicted that the person sitting beside me in the finals was going to be the first place finisher. And that is not the level of puzzler that I'm competing with. So if I'm using that as my gauge, it can be very distracting. It didn't get to me in the finals because I knew I wasn't going for first place. But it also depends on the puzzle. The person beside me in the morning, Carly, she beat me by almost 10 minutes in the morning, and in the finals I passed her and beat her by just about a minute in the finals. Everything is random. There's no way to know for sure how fast people are going to go, and the puzzle choices can make a difference. So that is my Canadian Nationals 2024 experience. A bad morning and a very, very good afternoon for me on that day. And finishing in 10th place was very important. I didn't know how important it was going to be at the time, but because of that result, my approach to speed puzzling and everything that's come after it since May of 2024 is about to change, and I don't really realize it. I don't realize it at the time, but there's a lot of changes that result from it coming up. So definitely stay tuned for the next video. Thank you for watching. To see how this story continues, click subscribe to get updates on new videos. Click like if there's something that you enjoyed in the video. Leave a comment below on maybe the approaches you would have taken to these puzzles, or share your experiences as well. Other content like speed puzzling tips, puzzle discussions and walkthroughs, and even some guest appearances are coming up very soon on this channel. So please make sure to click subscribe so you get all those updates. But for now, thank you for watching, and as always, happy puzzling. Bye!